I think it's I didn't even know about it. It was some routine, storm in a teacup. I think there's nothing to it. So I think it was a conversation. They are good friends from God knows how long. So somebody has done something there just to create some mischief, I think. But I don't think there was anything. I spoke with both of them. They were talking about something else, and it was kind of some. Some people have too much time on their hands. That's all I can say. So.
Hello and welcome to a very special conversation with a very dear friend. I mean, incredible season so far. Absolutely fantastic season so far. Kolkata Knight Riders' first team to make the playoffs. Venky Mysore, welcome. What an incredible season. What have you done right? I mean, you've done everything right. But tell me, thoughts?
Well, God has been kind, and the support we've received from our fans, well wishers like you, I think all of that is very, very gratifying and great to be in this position. But as we remind ourselves, a lot of cricket left, so we're not taking anything for granted. But no, I think no, when you ask me what have we done right, this T20 format is such that I mean, there's hardly been much of a tinkering or change in our team. As you know, in the auction we did a little bit, of course. The big buy that we had and whatnot, we can talk about that. But I think sometimes it's just a little bit of changes to some of the combinations. Gautam coming in definitely has made a big difference in terms of just the energy and the intensity and the will to win that he brings. And Chandu has worked very hard last year to get the team to kind of where he wanted it to be. So, as they say, God willing, hopefully the stars are aligning.
One thing I have to say, and this is not about Gautam or Chandru. Yes, Gautam's contribution, all of us are talking about, and I will ask you about him. He's a very good friend of mine, so I know how intense he is. But the Sunil Narine call, and I remember those Carl Crow days. I remember when you all stood by him. I remember when you all were there during that bowling action thing, when he was mentally down, he was depressed. Kolkata Knight Riders as a franchise, Shahrukh, yourself, everybody else backed Sunil Narine even when he was down in the dumps. And now look at what he's done. Can you tell me about this Sunil Narine call and the Kolkata story with Sunil Narine?
Well, I think the story goes back to 2012 auction, the mini auction, when nobody had seen much of him. Actually, there were hardly too many franchises bidding for him. It was just, I think, us and Mumbai who were fighting for him a little bit. We had seen him, through our affinity and our closeness to Trinidad and Tobago, and eventually we have that franchise there. But it's been an incredible story because first and foremost, he's one of those guys who is most unassuming. He has probably been the IPL player of
Yes.
since 2012. He's done everything you've asked him to do, but hardly people speak enough about him, to be honest. But he's happy with that because he's a very low profile guy. And I always jokingly tell him when I meet him in Trinidad during our Trinbago Knight Rider campaign, he's so animated and he's so conversational and vocal. I said, what happens to you when you come back to Trinidad and the water here? But when you come to IPL, it's like monosyllables, one word, one sentence here and there. He's one of the most unassuming champions that you'll ever come across. Terrific cricketing mind, knows his game, knows the game, and absolutely is a very practical type of a guy. But most important is the relationship that built up between Knight Riders and him. And he wears, literally when the logo is there on his chest, he's one of those guys you can honestly say he genuinely means it, and he doesn't want to wear any other colors. He gets all kinds of offers, but he plays for only our franchise. And I think he's also understood that he has become part of the family for us from a very early stage. And when he went through difficult times, we didn't really think that we were going out of the way to do this and do that because, what would you do to a family member? If they're part of your family, we did what we thought was absolutely the right thing. We didn't think twice. I was jokingly telling somebody that I've probably gone more to testing centers than any other CEO with him because of what he has been put through. But to his credit, to come back and first of all, remodel his action. He is primarily a bowling all-rounder, as he puts it in post-match conversations. And so he is passionate about his bowling. He's probably one of the most skilled guys who has come out. But usually when these types of things happen, people find it very difficult to bounce back from that, when they remodel their action and do those types of things. But he has done it. He's come back and he's gotten better than he probably was, if that's possible. But then the batting side to him has made him put him in a completely different zone altogether. We knew his talent, and he had opened for us, and he had done different interesting things for us in 2016-17 times. But this is a different level. So God willing, may this continue. and and
How do you explain this batting? I mean, is it Gautam? Is it Chandru? Is it who? And where did this last season was what 18 was his highest, and now look at him for best batter of the tournament. How did this happen?
I think everybody to be. I think if everybody would admit that, I think this has been a very pleasant surprise for everyone. To be honest, I think the call to make him open. I think that push definitely came from Gautam, no doubt about it, because I think practically speaking, we realized that with his type of skills, him coming down the order really makes there's no impact there. There's no difference there. And that's what has happened over the last maybe 2-3 years. And he was a reluctant batter, I must say, in terms of going up the order. But I think the call that was taken was, yes, let's see if we can get some momentum up front. And with Phil Salt coming in as well, and just one of those things that just happened. But I don't think anybody expected. I think the expectation was that he'll go in and he'll be given the freedom to go and play his natural game and try and get us off to a good start. And then we have depth in our Indian batting, and then the finisher roles who are there. So we'll take it from their type of mindset. But I think he is, I must say, if I were to put my finger on it, I would say, well, the call was taken, but it is all Sunil Narine's genius. This guy, as I told you, his cricketing acumen is unbelievable. So he has done some things with his batting. I'm not an expert to talk about what it is. We talk about it and say, he's so still at the crease, and he's sort of so focused. You can see when the camera focuses on his face, he seems like he wants to get that big score, and really, it's not just hitting 20 in 8 balls and then getting out and going. So it's his cricketing genius. He knows his game, and we knew the talent that he had with the bat, just his bat swing, his ability to time, and particularly against spin. It's come together. So seriously, knock on wood.
Before I go, what is this Abhishek Nayar Rohit Sharma gossip that's going around? You want to comment on that? You don't want to comment on that?
No, I think it's I didn't even know about it. Some routine, storm in a teacup. I think there's nothing to it. So I think it was a conversation. They're good friends from God knows how long. So somebody has done something there just to create some mischief, I think. But I don't think there was anything. I spoke with both of them. They were talking about something else, and it was kind of some people have too much time on their hands. That's all I can say. So